Okay, so we had a situation yesterday, not really a situation, because it happens all the time, but I think the perception is that people always think that everything goes really, really well. And it's all rainbows and lollipops and things like that. And the perspective is that if you're failing, that there's something wrong. And what you went through yesterday, it's kind of important for everybody to kind of get a sense of, because it happens a lot and it's just part of the process. So kind of talk through what you were feeling yesterday, because it was fascinating to watch for me, as it
Sure it
always
was.
is. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
Just go ahead and talk about it.
it's a new patient, and she hasn't really had a lot of conditioning over the last few years, so she just doesn't have a lot of movement skills.
Right.
So we're going through some interventions, and she's just not picking up on it. And I'm trying to give her cue after cue, and everything is just crashing and burning miserably. And you
Yeah.
enjoyed every second.
I did enjoy every second. But every student, you're not, you don't qualify as a student, but every student that comes through here experiences that, because I let it happen, because it has to happen, and you just have to recognize it for what it is, so that it is just part of a process. But it also gives you information as to how many options you have in mind, right? And so you sort of like, you use up all of your strategies, and then it's like, then where do you go?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that one of the things that people need to recognize in these circumstances is that it doesn't make you a bad therapist, and it doesn't make them a bad person. Because I think that people get frustrated with patients a lot,
Yeah.
because you think you're giving your best cues, you think you know what you're doing, and then it's not that they're not receptive to it, it's just that they don't have the background to even understand what you may want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is one of those
For sure.
people where you could give her the best possible information, and you gave her good cues, and you gave her, like, from a strategy standpoint, I think you were on point. But again, it just didn't come out the way you wanted it to at all, right? And so, and I think that ultimately we were successful before she walked out the door. That's another thing to recognize. It's like, okay, we just gave her everything that she could execute effectively,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that's the difference. We always have to remember that it's not about us. It's about the patient, and it's about, you know, how successful they are. So we put her in the only position that she was successful in,
Yeah.
and then allowed her to execute, right? And so, like I said, ultimately, you can look at this in any perspective that you want. As I always say, I go home with a big red mark on my forehead quite a bit, where I bang my head on my steering wheel all the way home, thinking like, I could have done this, but the thing that I want you to see is that, yeah, you failed and you failed and you failed, and you kind of failed your way to success till you finally got to the point where you recognize the fact that this is the best that she's going to do today,
Mm-hmm.
based on her experiences, based on her capabilities, and then she will move forward and she will progress. You know, it's like, not everybody feels like hitting a home run. And you know, yesterday was like the big K, if you will, you know, but you gotta go through that. You gotta feel that, and so, you know, all the people that have been through the Purple Room experience right now that are actually watching this will probably throw you a comment that goes, yeah, I had to do that too. It's just part of the process, but it never goes away. It's like I experience this every day too. It's just that from a perspective and having 30 years of experience, you just go, okay, this is just the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, what I just told you didn't make sense. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. And then you just got to figure out the way that they understand you. And then, like I said, you find the position where they are most successful, right? Rather than, you know, kicking yourself for being an idiot when you're not. You're just, again, this is one of the hardest things, is this interaction between people. And it's like, people can come onto the internet and social media, and they can talk about how great things are, but people also need to recognize that these failures are as important as the days where you really do feel like a god and you helped everybody and everything went exactly as planned. this was an important experience for you. And you've been practicing. This is what people don't really. You've been practicing for a long time,
Yeah.
but you're trying to evolve something different,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why that again it presents an even bigger challenge. And so I tip my cap for you for not going off the deep end. You handled it really, really well. But again, I thought it went great. Then at the end, it's just I had to let that happen.
Sure.
So you do understand this, and then this is the lesson that you teach the next guy that you're
Yeah.
going to help.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. See you guys later.